Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I will be reading an Arlecchino Listener by me. So let's get into it. She paced the length of the room, her sharp eyes never leaving yours. You could feel the weight of her silence pressing down on you, the tension between you both, thick enough to cut with a blade. She had always been perceptive, but you never expected her to find out like this. So, you're the Tsaritsa's secret child. You swallowed hard, standing rigidly, unsure of how to respond. Listen, Arlecchino, I was going to tell you. I just. She cut you off with a wave of her hand, her cold demeanor hiding the storm brewing beneath the surface. When, exactly? After we've been together for years? After I've made a fool of myself, being so close to someone so connected? You took a step forward, trying to close the distance between you. But she just frowned, shaking her head. The rejection stung more than you'd expected. Listen, it's not like that. I didn't want you to feel betrayed when I told you. This isn't something I chose. This life, it was never really my choice. Arlecchino's eyes darkened, the usual fire in her eyes burning even more. And yet, you kept that secret from me. You, of all people. You lowered your gaze, unable to meet her eyes. I didn't think it would matter. Not really. Her voice dropped to a cold whisper. Not matter? Do you have any idea what this means? You're the child of the Cryo Archon, one of the most powerful people in the world, and somehow it's not supposed to matter. I didn't ask for this. I just wanted to live a normal life. I didn't want it to affect us. Arlecchino laughed at your words, but there was no humor in the sound. A normal life? She stepped closer, her face inches from yours now, her eyes scanning your face as if searching for something. You've been lying to me this whole time, and you expect me to just go back to normal? I wasn't lying. I just didn't tell you because I didn't want it to change the way you saw me. You insisted, finally meeting her gaze, your voice stronger now. She paused, her eyes narrowing. And how exactly am I supposed to see you now? You took a deep breath, reaching for her hand, though hesitant. As the same person I've always been, the one who's always been by your side, the one who loves you. For a moment, Arlecchino said nothing, her gaze flickering to where your fingers barely touched hers. Her jaw tightened, and you could see the internal battle she was waging, trying to process things in her head. Arlecchino, I didn't want to be that Tsaritsa's child. I didn't want any of this. All I've ever wanted is you. Her eyes flicked back to yours, and you saw a crack in her demeanor, something vulnerable beneath the surface. She closed her eyes briefly, as if trying to steady herself before speaking again. You should have told me. I do not care who your mother is. I care about you. And politics. Unfortunately, But I care about you, and you should not have treated me like this. You should have trusted me with a secret as big as that. He nodded, your heart heavy with guilt. I know, Arlie, and I'm sorry. I just didn't want you to see me differently. Her eyes opened, and for the first time since she found out, her gaze softened. You're an idiot, she muttered, but her voice lacked the sharpness from before. Slowly, she reached for your hand, her fingers brushing against yours, hesitant but still there. You let out a breath that you had not realized you'd been holding, intertwining your fingers with hers. I'm still me, Arlecchino, and I'm still yours. And I truly mean every single word I said. And so, for a moment, neither of you really spoke, and you did not realize what you were doing, just looking around you silently. Arlecchino's grip on your hand loosened just a little bit, and finally, she allowed herself to relax, just slightly. I'm not going to pretend this is easy for me. I do not like lies, nor do I like secrets. But I suppose I'm not walking away. At least not for now. Your heart swelled at her words, and he squeezed her hand gently in return. And I'll do whatever it takes to make it worth your while. I'll make things right, Arlecchino. Into the faintest of smiles, though there was still just a glint of warning in her eyes. You better. I'll certainly be waiting, she says, a little bit teasing, and you chuckle softly at her words. And so, with that, the two of you stood in the quiet room, your heart melting into bits, because you knew as cold as Arlecchino could be, she was always your home away from home. And she would always understand, even if things were difficult, and even if you did not really have an explanation.